The Elder Scrolls world is on fire. With all the recent Oblivion news that has come out, we are all at the peak of excitement levels. Now, as happy as I am, and I don't mean to be a downer here, we can't let this distract us from the bigger picture. That picture being the Elder Scrolls 6. Yes, that name that shan't be said. Welcome back to the channel, guys. The Oblivion Remake has got the internet in a chokehold, with Virtuose's leaks sparking a frenzy all over social media and whispers of an April 21st shadow drop setting our hearts racing. It is a wildfire of hype, no doubt, and I'm right there with you, ready to dive back into Ciradel's epic saga, but we have to keep our eyes on the horizon, on the bigger picture, the Elder Scrolls 6. That is the real adventure that will redefine Tamriel, and most importantly, Bethesda. No doubt that this remake's moment is massive, console ready, poised to hit PS5, Xbox, and potentially Nintendo Switch too, bringing millions to Oblivion who have been craving its return. The leaks are undeniable, the buzz is electric, and the thought of booting it up next week feels like Skyrim's 2011 launch again. We gotta understand that this isn't just a game, it is a revival of a 2006 legend that really shaped RPGs today, and we are just caught in its glow. But the Elder Scrolls 6, that is our real dream. Teased in 2018, still years out from now. This is the future that we have been building towards. It is the next chapter, the one we've actually waited over a decade for. And that's what today's video is about. I'm going to be diving into how to embrace this Oblivion remake, whilst also holding Bethesda accountable for what they promised to deliver, and that is the Elder Scrolls 6. Our main meal. You already know where the subscribe button is, so make sure to go ahead and hit that for weekly videos regarding all things Oblivion, Elder Scrolls. We're nearly at 2,000 subscribers, so let's try our best to get there as soon as possible. Anyway, let's get into the video, and why we shouldn't let the Oblivion remake overshadow the Elder Scrolls 6. Let's not kid ourselves, the Oblivion Remake hype is a full-blown inferno, and it is consuming everything in its path. The community is a chaotic sea of excitement, with fans losing their mind over the Virtuose leaks that dropped like a Daedric bomb. You know the deal, I'm sure. The logos, the screenshots, the shadow drop vibe pointing to April 21st, and it's got the Elder Scrolls community in a fever pitch. Posts are racking up thousands of likes. Oblivion on PS5, I'm screaming. Oblivion on Game Pass, you know, so many people, just so much buzz surrounding this subject. And it's actually really nice to see a lot of positivity surrounding the Elder Scrolls for once. I know in particular for Bethesda, although they're not making this entire remake, the whole community surrounding them has not been so positive lately, so it does make a really nice change. But who can blame everyone for this amazing positivity? This isn't some PC only mod like Skyblivion, it is an accessible game for everyone, and that is no disrespect towards Skyblivion, but only a fraction of the community could actually get excited for their project. The hype is amplified as well by the timing. April 21st is right around the corner, and the shadow drop is rumoured there. Fans are clearing their schedules, making time for nothing but this potential remake that hasn't even officially been announced yet. It is more than just a game for lots, it is a cultural reset, uniting players who've waited 19 years for Ciradel's return. The remake is not just a win, but more of a beacon, proving that Bethesda still has that spark, but here is the danger. The hype is so blinding, it is starting to eclipse the bigger picture for me, and that is the Elder Scrolls 6, the true future that we have all been chasing since 2018. Yes, Oblivion Remastered is fantastic, it's going to be a blast, but a side quest that we will devour. The Elder Scrolls 6, however, is the main story, and that is my worry. Is the side quest, like many Bethesda games, going to be better than that main story? Let's zero in on why the Elder Scrolls 6 is the true prize that we can't afford to lose sight of, even with that Oblivion Remake hype blazing across all social media platforms. Announced at E3 in 2018, Elder Scrolls 6 has still been our North Star, a promise of Bethesda's next grand adventure, rumoured to unfold in Hammerfell, possibly High Rock, who knows. Todd Howard is calling it their biggest yet, likely hitting 2026 or beyond. This isn't just another game for them though, it is the accumulation of over 25 years of the Elder Scrolls legacy. Open worlds that redefined RPGs, player freedom, that let us live another life in a way. The Elder Scrolls 6 is the true crown jewel, and we need to keep our eyes locked on it no matter how bright Ciradel's return shines. First, the Elder Scrolls 6 is about the future, new lands, new stories, you know how it is. Oblivion Remastered, as thrilling as it is, revisits a known world. Ciradel's gates, guilds, and quirks are familiar, a nostalgic hit that we will all love, but Hammerfell, that is the blank canvas. That is the big picture that we need to hold Bethesda accountable for creating a great world to explore. Like I previously said, the remake for me is a side quest, replaying a classic, but the Elder Scrolls 6 is the main quest, pushing Tamriel forward. As well as that, you've got to say that the stakes are sky high. Skyrim in 2011 wasn't just a game, but it was an actual earthquake in the gaming industry, still modded and sold in 2025. For me, the Elder Scrolls 6 has to top that, and Bethesda's under pressure after Starfield, with loading screens and fetch quests that for me didn't scream next gen. So what I'm really trying to say is maybe that this Oblivion remake being that sort of warm-up, it could also be considered a trust test. Can Bethesda deliver quality Elder Scrolls content again, although it's not them entirely making it, as we do know it is Virtuos leaving the project. Elder Scrolls 6 is that real exam, however, and we just can't let that spotlight fade. No matter how well the Oblivion remake does, we cannot let our expectations for Elder Scrolls 6 drop. We have to keep them high, and we have to keep expecting this game to actually release. We can't just be content with this. In a way, you could almost see it as if Bethesda is outsourcing a project to another company to sort of just keep us quiet, to keep us sort of fed, maybe even to silence us. It's about our legacy as fans. We've waited since Skyrim, 14 years by 2025, for a new Elder Scrolls game, not necessarily a reheat of a game. And that's no offense, because I do really like the idea of an Oblivion remake. I just really think I prefer the idea of Elder Scrolls 6 more. Let's face the stark reality. The Oblivion remake's hype is a juggernaut, and it risks eclipsing the Elder Scrolls 6 in a way that we sort of can't ignore. Right now, the internet is consumed by all of these leaks. Social media is a relentless storm of remake excitement, and I do not blame them. I am also included in this. It isn't just about social media noise, however, it's more about where the attention flows. Bethesda's history shows how distractions can derail progress. Skyrim's endless re-releases, Special Edition in 2016, Switch 2017, yep, we know how it goes. Stretching the gap between these major releases with these sort of anniversary editions. Now, the Oblivion remake, with its viral leaks and shadow drop buzz, could repeat this pattern. If it dominates the conversation, Bethesda might lean into more remakes, Morrowind, Fallout 3 or beyond, which, yeah, that sounds great to everyone, but it could postpone the Elder Scrolls 6 even more. For me, I think Oblivion's remake needs to be a stepping stone, a chance to rebuild trust, but if it becomes that main focus, Bethesda might just coast on the past of glories instead of forging ahead. The Elder Scrolls thrives on evolution. Morrowind's weirdness, Oblivion's accessibility, Skyrim's scale. The Elder Scrolls 6 is the next step, not a rehash, and if the remake's hype buries it, we'll risk a franchise stuck in 2006, recycling classics while the competitors leap forward. The stakes extend to our identity as fans. We've waited since Skyrim, like I said, 14 years by 2025, for a new Elder Scrolls game, pouring passion into mods, lore debates, and Elder Scrolls 6 wishlists. Oblivion Remastered is a gift, a fantastic gift that they are giving us, a nostalgic hit that we will savour, but the Elder Scrolls 6 is our legacy, the payoff of years of devotion, of waiting. Letting the remake's frenzy dominate means settling for a rerun when we've earned a revolution. So how do we ride the Oblivion remake's tidal wave without letting it drown the Elder Scrolls 6? Well, the answer lies in balance. Celebrating Cyrodiil's return whilst keeping Hammerfell's promise a burning bright. The remake's hype is a force of nature, which we are all lucky to be involved in. We should all dive in, play it, share it, have fun with it, but we just cannot let that brilliance blind us to the Elder Scrolls 6, the one true future of Tamriel and Bethesda, the promise that they made to us. I don't want this to seem like I'm hating on the Oblivion remake. I cannot wait. I'm probably going to make 10 million videos on it because this is something I'm really excited about, as well as many of you. It's just, like I said, I am way more excited about the Elder Scrolls 6, and I don't want this entire experience to make you forget about the promise that Bethesda made us when they released the Elder Scrolls 6 teaser trailer. That should still be the priority here. I know Oblivion is coming out and being remastered with a new coat of paint, or however you want to describe it, but we just can't take our eyes off the ball. We can't take our eyes off the main quest, Elder Scrolls 6. How long will this Oblivion remake feed us? 6 months? 1 year? 2 years? By then, would we have literally completely forgot about the promise they made to us when they said the Elder Scrolls 6 was in development? Once again, enjoy the remake thoroughly. It's going to be a fantastic experience. It's something that would definitely feed us for the time being, but always have in mind, this isn't the end goal. The Elder Scrolls 6 awaits, and we need to hold Bethesda to their word.